All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. So today we will be doing the EV and charging technical analysis videos, looking at Tesla and Ford on this video. Clearly a lot to talk about, and you see why I always say the 8 moving average is such an amazing tool to use, all right? We'll get into the details later, but I hope all the good is just jumping off the screen even before I get to it, right? Real quick, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. There are about 30 minutes of live trading left, so you will see percentages go up and down, candles go up and down. I think it's close enough to at least make these videos, okay? And then, hey, look, real quick, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Nonetheless, look, I appreciate your time so much, okay? Look, I'm going to start with the 8 again because I'm telling you, the 8 moving averages are rule number 1 for so many reasons, right? Look, bad things happen under the 8 moving average, okay? It's also even worse under the 20, right? I often say these two are the pair together, and you're either horribly under both or you're going well over both, right? And we try to avoid this as much. And hey, we became real bullish, we as I obviously, but once we got over the 8 and the 20, right? Because even these little moments over the 8, though they were good, we've seen a couple of them, right? And I became really excited over the 20. We started doing this gap fill. Clearly earnings were good enough to where we saw this nice little gap. But look, I have no idea what the earnings said. I really don't care what they did. All I knew was this much. We were well over the 8. Once it looked good after hours, it was really easy to tell the market liked it. This right here might have been a sell-off point for some people because very easily I could have seen a stop loss at around 50% candle hit. Because again, if you rode this even from 230 to here, right, you're looking at, oh my gosh, easy more than 20-30%, right? Every 12 is 10%. So good profits were had even if this stop loss hit, okay? Then look, once it broke this candle, which happened on this day, it just became even better riding, right? And even during this, when it came down and, not a beautiful day after, still well over the 8, still well over the 50, right? And all it was doing was riding the 8. Look, the bigger stocks I feel do a lot better with the 8 moving average. Tesla's obviously on this EV stock because it is the OG of the EVs, right? Too many acronyms right there, but this very well could be in our FANG and blue chips. Like Tesla is a blue chip stock. Whatever you care, like I don't want your opinions about the car and stuff like that. This has become a blue chip stock, whether you like Elon or not, whether you like the car or not, right? So this does exceptionally well above the 8, and you saw it. It does exceptionally bad under the 8, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. I always say, like, know the stock you're in. This is a big boy for sure versus, some of the other ones we'll get to in the latter videos. But look, real quick, let's talk about the last couple days, okay? So this 100 moving average, I would say never really broke very well. Okay, so what does that mean? Look, clearly that day got over the line. Clearly that day was over the line, and same with all of these. But within these 5, there were no good candles. Like, let me zoom out real quick, okay? This break of the 50 happens right here. And then, like I said, once it gets over that day on this day, it just goes even more, right? So this break of the 20 was actually a good candle, right? I want a nice full candle when I'm breaking moving averages, not these little insignificant, hey, they're green, better than red, right? But I want this. This actually makes me believe, hey, you know what? I think we've broken the 100. You know what I mean? Because it looked like we were about to lose the 8, possibly lose this. But again, one day under doesn't mean anything, right? It's second day confirmation. And though it started like a gap down right here, this this bad boy went up. This is a pretty full candle, which really means, hey, like the game's not over yet for Tesla. You know what I mean? Where's the 200 at? Look, there's a lot of reason to believe 230 is right around the corner. And I mean, 230 is another 10% on top of where we're at right now, right? Because 10% is 20. That's actually 15%, right? I'm throwing another 10 on top of that. So a beautiful, beautiful day. And look right here, a red, 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 red on a green, 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 which should make it a pretty easy hit actually. So look, I've been bullish on Tesla for a while. I literally talked about my play before earnings and after earnings. So one more time, this is a beautiful daily, and a lot mattered today, right? It could have either gone down and we would have been talking about the 20 maybe bouncing us, right? But again, this is why I always talk about confirmation, okay? One day under means nothing. One day over means nothing, right? I couldn't point out a good one. I'm sorry. But confirmation, I swear it matters, right? I don't say it for nothing. Look, one of the other things I always say, right? And again, I know it sounds super, super repetitive, but repetitive just means it's sinking in, right? A good weekly chart means you're going to have a beautiful daily chart, right? It takes 5 daily candles for one weekly to form, right? So it's going to take a long time for this to decide to like drop, right? I mean, it'll take weeks, and that equates to a whole mess of days. But if this thing's deciding to keep going up each week, man, and look, we just filled this red, red, red. We're now coming at and actually over that little horizontal. So there's a lot of reason to believe, like I said, we'll fill that red, red, red and get us exactly to that 230 that we were just talking about, right? So, and again, if this breaks, there's a lot, I mean, 270 to 300 is very much realistic right here, and roughly speaking, that's a 50% gain from where we're at, right? These two lines will not be easy to break, okay? They're not super close to where, you know, we're going to call it a tight cluster. It's not necessarily this, but it's going to be difficult to break the 50 and then the 100's right after it, right? So what number are these at? So 238 and 250. Look, I can see 245 maybe being a decent place to put a target here. Again, 230 is the immediate one. If 230 breaks, you know, you can maybe see a wick all the way up to this 250. But yeah, I think 245, 244, a little over this 240 on the red line right here, right? So again, Tesla doing a beautiful job just riding the 8. We have not even used the 20 as a single bounce point yet. You know what I mean? So generally the way it works is if you lose the 8, you would come down to the 20 and hopefully the 20 saves it, right? Because it's the opposite of this. If you break the 8, you go to the 20 and it rejects it, right? You can imagine these two lines going up instead of down would make that look so much prettier, right? So hopefully that is what's forming here, right? So yeah, look, again, just kind of with the zoom out, you see it again, a beautiful stack of reds after this 230. And I will be sincere with you, this 230 to 270 is gonna be real easy trading, because again, once we get over that, there are no resistance lines, because this line right here also puts us over the 200. So 230 to 272, again, there's no such thing as guaranteed trading and nothing's safe. I'm not trying to like pretend any of those words are real, right? But yeah, that should be incredibly, you know, better at least than like fighting, right? It's better to be over, and it's way better to trade with very little resistances. So this is not financial advice, obviously. Okay, I think that was really good on Tesla. Hey, if you disagree with anything, throw it in the comments. I am not here pretending I'm perfect or all-knowing, all right? So please, I would rather you tell me in the comments than my money tell me I was wrong, right? You know what I mean? So okay, I will be genuine. This Ford chart has been wild, okay? I've seen so many people, you know, this looked like it was gonna fly. This, again, makes you believe that like those $20 days are gonna be there, because I literally just said it. If you can get over all the lines, that's a good day confirmation. That's a gap up after the confirmation. I mean, this just screamed we were taking off, right? RSI wasn't even that high, right? So I'm not sure if earnings happened. I'm telling you, I don't know what, but yeah, that's super, super disappointing because did it cross the, yeah, never got over that. That's sad. It wicked it, obviously, but oh man, disappointing. Again, I'm imagining this was some sort of earnings news. I have no idea. But look, even earnings aside, this is classic horizontal. Look, I have said it on, and by the way, if it is earnings and throw it in the comments. Please, please, please. Again, two-way street. You give me info, I'm trying to give you my info, right? So, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of our moving averages going in a horizontal line. I hate trading in these, okay? Because in all sincerity, anything can happen. And I've said it well before earnings. I've said it on stocks with way less than 64 million average daily volume. I'm telling you, I've said it on stocks in 200K, 1 million. I've said it with the Mullins in the like 700K, right? Like, horizontal clusters are like tornadoes and you generally violently go up, and it's crazy that stopped right there. Honestly, it really, really is. I have to believe it was earnings, or you for real violently drop down. And what I just don't like is that green 8 looks like it's ready to come down, okay? And MACD has been well green over red for a while. We're now under, right? The red is clearly over the green. This is too tight to call, but there's definitely a downward trend. Look at the distance, like this was up here versus this line right here. Now we're literally sitting right on the line, right? So as tight as it is, it's been going downhill the whole time, right? So losing green over red, losing this uptrend too, right? It definitely starts to flatten out right here before we actually lose it and go down too, right? So yeah, a lot of sadness with Ford. I'll be honest, this chart right here tells me 1213 is real. And if we lose 1213, I mean, honestly, it might drop as low as this bad boy right here. Let me erase some lines and redo them, because really, I don't know how old these ones are. The Tesla ones seemed clean. There wasn't, what just happened? How do we get more lines? I just said delete all the lines for Ford. You lagging on me? Come on now, baby. All right, whatever. So look, these are actually decent lines, I guess. But look, I'll draw one more right here. And let me see if I got to move those other 2. No, this one's a for sure line. What's this at? I'm going to delete this one. Let's see if it lets me, because I don't want to confuse. Good, good, good. And then really, I'm going to move this up here. Okay, so this is basically what I'm looking at. So first and foremost, okay, you have to get over the purple line, which is on top, or, I mean, not even or, and you cannot go below that 50 line, okay? If you break the 200, you should go to 1430. If you do not break it and you end up losing this 50, honestly, it could be a quick drop from 12 to 11, because ultimately, this is a nice green, 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 green all the way up, right? So definitely if you lose this, that green, green, green could turn into a nice quick red, 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 right? So this though right here, one more time, this would have fooled, and this would have fooled me for sure. I, knock on wood, had no money here, but you break the 200. On that break, you got over this candle, and then the day after the break, you get a pretty nice full candle. Not one that looked like that, I guess, but shit, that would start to curse, but that would have been good enough for me. And the next day, you gap up. Come on now, you know what I mean? So man, again, if that was an earnings thing, I often say stay, even on my Tesla move. If you go back a video, I called it, right? I literally sold the day before earning, or the after hours, right? It was earnings. So I sold at 1 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock. Once I saw the market was good, I got back. I literally only lost 10%, right? And I'm okay giving up 10% versus what could be a silly drop down like this, which Ford saw, right? So went a little longer than I was planning to, but again, I sincerely appreciate your time. Hey, I hope you're learning.